to be the perfect leader for this organization, especially during this time, but of course for many years to come. Thank you.
Let me tell you what a pleasure it is to be here with you. And a pleasure to be back in Denver. I say back in Denver, I'm a regular, right? I'm now a regular.
I love it.
And for good reason, because this is a wonderful place with wonderful people, with great leaders, and with great commitment. With great commitment to a better future. And I couldn't be prouder of what you all are doing and what IAC has done here. 8 years. 8 years of IAC Denver, and 8 years of impact. And let me tell you, that's not nothing. Because all of us in this room, whether we're business leaders or civic leaders or involved in nonprofits or involved in public affairs, all of us, each of us, aspires and dreams to make an impact, to leave our world that much a better place. And I'm here to tell you that IAC, in partnership with so many of you in this room, has done that with flying colors. I want to first acknowledge, it's been said, but I want to say it again. First of all, our amazing lay leaders, our council here, especially Tal, our honoree tonight, unbelievable, unbelievable leadership. And of course, a special shout out for Alon, not only because he's my boss, by the way, not only a board member, treasurer of IAC, a real leader of IAC, taking us to new heights national. I'm so proud of you. What an honor to work with you today. And Dad and our staff, our amazing staff, and Tali Baumann, Vice President Tali, unbelievable leadership to great effect. But let's talk about the effect, let's talk about the impact. You know, every time we come together, we have to talk about combating anti-Semitism, and we will tonight as well. But let's remember, it's about us. One of the surest ways to fight Jew hatred and enemies on the outside is to ensure that we are spiritually sound on the inside. Do you know how many kids have come through our programs, thanks to so many of you in this room? Think about it. Each kid, each child in Keshet has had his or her life transformed. Their love of their heritage deepened. Their commitment to the Jewish people strengthened. Their internalization of heritage made more whole. Each and every one. Do you know how many kids have come through Keshet right here in Denver? 180 kids. Think about that, 180 kids. Changed forever. The trajectories of their lives changed forever, and their parents changed forever. How about teens? Teens who begin to formulate that fighting will, that spirit. Do you know how many teens have come through Eitanim here in Denver? 60 teens over the last few years have come through Eitanim and have become better leaders, have learned entrepreneurship, have learned innovation, those skills that have prepared them for life. Act and Impact. We're going to hear more about them later. 30 Act and Impact ambassadors here in Denver who've stood up and fought proudly for the Jewish people. A model of what leadership is in the face of adversity and hatred. And then Gvanim, our own state-of-the-art, best-in-class leadership training program, because we don't believe at IAC that leadership is only something you get from osmosis or through trial and error. It is also that, but we believe we have to train the future leaders of tomorrow so that our future is secure, our people secure. 60 adults have come through Gvanim right here in Denver, and if you want to know the impact of our Gvanim leaders, that it's not theoretical, it's real, just look at our council members. Look at their involvement in public affairs, with elected officials, with nonprofits, with the absolute main organizations that lead the Jewish people. It's no accident who's here tonight. We have the leaders of Jewish Colorado here, of ADL, of Hillel, of Stand With Us, all here because Our lay leaders are involved in the Jewish world, and that's a testament to the power of Gvanim. My friends, these are only some of the examples of the impact you, have been able to make just here in Denver over the last 2 years. And everything I've said, all of these great celebrations, could have been said and would have been said were we to meet here on October 6th. But this is not October 6th. Over 6 months ago, our people suffered the worst pogrom since the Holocaust, an act of medieval savagery, the likes of which, as one senator who said who saw the unedited version of the Hamas terror film, I saw things that I didn't imagine could be done to people. One would have thought that pogrom, that barbarism, that hideous savagery would have embarrassed the Jew haters of the world just a little bit, even for a short period of time. But no, the opposite is true. That savagery perpetrated on children, on women, on men, unleashed an orgy of Jew hatred, unabashed, unhidden, unadulterated, around the world, including on our streets, in our schools, and on our campuses. By the way, I want to go back to something Tal said in his remarks in introducing his children. He said about his college freshman who completed a year, thankfully, in a safe place. Can you imagine? In the United States of America, where a father has to say, thankfully, my son in college is in a safe place. That's where we are. And so let me tell you, not about all the glory of 8 years, which is itself reason to celebrate. Let me tell you what we've been doing here since October 7th. IAC has handled over 10 individual cases of anti-Semitism in schools, right here in this area. When I say handled, by the way, let me make something clear. I'm not talking about a declaration or condemnation. I mean caseworked. I mean met with families. I mean coached parents. I mean accompanied families to school board meetings. I mean going into schools to ensure that the situation is rectified, that the perpetrator is punished, and that the incident isn't repeated. 10 of those in the past few months, just here in the city. We have had thousands of Coloradans come to the streets, turned out to the streets in our events. Because you know what? It isn't enough to support Israel on social media. We've got to physically be counted. We have to stand shoulder to shoulder and arm to show everybody that we are being counted and we mean to make a difference. And yes, to take our streets back and our campuses back. Thousands of Coloradans have turned out to the streets to demonstrate for Israel, for the release of our hostages, and to fight anti-Semitism. All of this since October 7th. And you know what's in the works? Well, let me tell you, it's not enough to be reactive when you're fighting Jew hatred. We are now working with Colorado school districts to allow us access into public schools to train teachers, to train public school teachers on anti-Semitism, on the Holocaust, on the IRA definition of anti-Semitism. We know how to do this. We're among the best in the business for doing this. By the way, ADL is here. They do a very good job as well. But we do a very, very good job. Let me tell you, since October 7th nationally, IAC has trained, are you ready for this? IAC has trained over 1,000 public school teachers. That's right, 1,000. If each Keshet kid is a universe changed, can you imagine a public school teacher? Each class after class, year after year. a public school teacher who receives from us a lesson on what it means to be a Jew, on what Jewish peoplehood is, on what Jewish identity is, and on what the Jewish homeland means. But Zionism isn't a political opinion. Zionism wasn't born in 1948. Zionism began in Parashat Lech Lecha. And we make that very clear in our courses. We're going to do that right here in Colorado as well. My friends, none of this would be possible. None of what we have done would have been possible. And none of our plans will be possible without you. Look, you've already done a lot. Many of you in this room are our supporters, and we appreciate it. You've been generous. But tonight is different from every other night. Because this year is different from every other year. Todd said something also very important. Crises bring opportunities. And I will tell you that in the midst of this dark hell we're seeing, in the Middle East and right here at home, there has never, not in the lifetimes of pretty much everyone in this room, there has never been more of an opportunity for Jewish renewal and growth than right now. God forbid should we let that opportunity pass us by. Because I will tell you that there will come a time when posterity will ask of us, it might be in 5 years or in 10 or in 20, our kids, our grandkids, they will ask of us, Ima, Abba, Saba, what did you do? In those days when Jewish babies were put in ovens again, when the campuses were on fire from coast to coast, where Jewish kids can't even get to class, when our streets become dangerous, what did you do? May we today resolve that we will give posterity an answer of which we can be proud. That is what tonight is about. And so for everything you've done, I ask you to do more tonight, because we need you. We don't just want your investment, we need your investment. And I'll remind you that the money we raise here tonight stays in Colorado. It doesn't go to New York. New York needs it, by the way, you might have heard. It doesn't go to New York, it doesn't go to LA. It builds our might right here at home. So let's do this together. And let's build for that next generation the future, that better, more just future of which they so desperately deserve. We talked about act and impact, right? But I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to hear about the difference IAC makes. And I want you to hear it from them. And so I'm calling our amazing teams, Adam and Daniel and Amalia and Ian and Elan, I love that name. Come on up here. Come on up here. I want you to hear from them. I want you to hear from them the difference they're making. And just think, with more of them and with more of our programs and with more of our kids and more of our leaders, what we will do in the future. Just think. Take it away.